I'm standing here with Rick Hammel at the Toledo show, and some of you might remember Rick from last year. He had the giant fire-breathing dragon. Morning, Rick.
How are you?
Good to see you again. Thank you as always.
See you.
And you've got quite a unique project again this year.
Thank you.
What do you got for us?
Well, this is a replica of the 1989 Batwing.
Okay.
Used for the movie with Batman, Michael Keaton.
Okay. All right.
Unlike the other ones, this one actually flies.
It flies. Now, I'm looking at it, and it flies.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Wow. Turbine powered, I'm assuming?
It does have a JetCat P180 RX. It's one of the latest single wire auto start.
Okay. All right.
Produces about 40 pounds of thrust.
Okay. Well, it looks like it's plenty of power. So what were some of the difficulties that you had during the build of this?
Well, some type of control system. It uses split elevons with rudder. Also, just simply trying to get all the components within the design of the model.
Okay.
You know, get enough fuel on it. It has 5 liters worth of fuel. Plus, one of the major problems was the exhaust. It takes a single exhaust and bifurcates.
Okay.
And if you look at the rear, it narrows down to about a 1-inch slot.
Sure, sure. Yeah. And
the
it's
first two versions blew apart at full power. It ripped the spot wells. But the third version, I got innovative and designed something strong enough to take the punch of the turbine.
So, for people that are looking at this going, man, that's amazing. What is it made of? How did you create it?
It's actually made out of a high temperature composite. It's a high temperature post-cure epoxy with a Nomex honeycomb.
Okay. Cool, cool.
You can see my batteries are starting to die on my, been running it all weekend. But it uses 100 LED Moonstone LEDs.
100 LEDs. What kind of wattage are you looking at on those?
250 watts. It
250
draws
watts.
36 amps of current when it runs.
Wow.
It's got fans on the for cooling the BECs and the heat sinks.
Okay.
It's all wore out from the whole from the whole show. You know, been turning on and off.
All right. And for the tech guys, I'm sure everybody's wondered, what kind of radio system are you using in this model?
This is a Futaba. It runs off of 14MZ.
Okay. Very cool.
It's got isolators on it. You know, it's running all high voltage servos, high tech. It's basically the latest of everything.
Sure, sure.
Even the gear doors are driven with high tech digitals.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like it's got to be retracts on there.
It's electric. In fact, the original retracts were air, and I had Don and Locke convert them to electric.
Oh, perfect.
Nice. I'll tell you what, it's the way to go.
And in case anybody's wondering, what kind of time does it take to build a model of this magnitude?
Well, the original molds and plugs took a year just to produce the plugs and molds.
Okay.
Took another 6 months to produce the fiberglass parts and then assemble it and paint it.
Wow, so you got a year and a half into a project, and here it sits.
This was a little easier than the last project. This one was just a basic black base coat, and then the finish was the same clear coat, but they sell a matting agent that you can adjust the percentage of additive depending on how flat you want the paint.
Sure,
so I did some test samples until I came up with what I thought was a good mix for the Batwing.
Cool. And how many flights does this have on it right now?
The paint was drying on the way to Toledo, so it hasn't left the grind. But the original one, there's some pictures of it while it was in the air.
The prototype has been flown. All right. Well, Rick, thank you for your time this morning.
Well, you're welcome. It's nice seeing you again.